video is about how to become more productive as a social media marketing manager. So maybe you have a job, a 9 to 5, or you do things on your own, or a freelancer or entrepreneur yourself. So the tips today is to become more productive in these 9 tips. For a lot of people that are starting right now, it seems to be overwhelming and hectic, but I'm gonna tell you 9 tips that actually is gonna put you in the organizing mode as an entrepreneur yourself, doing the business yourself, doing your freelance business yourself, and a few extra tips in the end of this video so you can stick around and you see that you have other resources that you can use for and help you with your business. So stick around and I'm coming right back. So welcome to my channel. If you have never subscribed here, in this channel we talk about social media marketing, we talk about tips, tutorials, how-tos, and how to stay on track in the industry. So if you are new to the channel, I recommend to sign up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell sign so you get notified every time has a new video. So today we're going to be talking about the 9 management tips, strategy to become more productive. Let's say you just start now, or you're thinking about doing this for a full-time job or just a gig, you don't know yet, but you might have already feeling overwhelmed just by the fact that there is a lot of things that involves the social media manager tasks. But it's a way for you to stay organized, and it is a way for you to find a way to feel comfortable doing what you're most comfortable doing it. A lot of people do things differently. My to-do list might not be the same as yours or anybody else around in the same room. But if you are the one working by yourself, I mean, most of the social media managers don't have a supervision, they work on themselves, some work on a company and they do a 9 to 5 job, they have some structure. But I think that this video is more suitable for people that do work themselves. Doesn't mean you cannot take these tips for you to take to your 9 to 5. I definitely believe you can do that too, but I think that it's going to be more focused in the social media managers who are doing things as a freelancer. So the number 1 tip that I think that is going to help you and all of us in this field is to making a strategy on your content. When you pull out a content, let's say images, and you're going to pull it out, schedule a bunch of content, make sure you don't do one at a time. Just do as a batch. Use like all the images you research for, especially for Instagram, which it's a lot of images that you can schedule throughout the month, or Pinterest, refreshing someone's blog, things like that. So what you can do is basically put all these images into your content scheduler management tool. Maybe use Tailwind, maybe used other kinds of companies, Buffer, but you can go ahead and just put all in a batch in the system. I think that if you do that every 25 minutes and take some breaks, or 30 minutes, 45 minutes, take a break, you can do that. What I actually use to calculate my tasks in between tasks is this little time here, and I just flip it over and do all my work. When this is over, I take a break, and then I go back and do the work again. So it's kind of pretty much like that. You manage your time and you don't waste your time, because has times in the past that I have looked to all the things that I have done and was like, I didn't do much because I spent so much time focusing, trying to find a way to be organized, and that was not the way to do it. So I truly believe that if you track your time, 30, 40 minutes, whatever you think is fair for you, for your time and schedule, I would predict at 30 to 45 minutes to do the contents and then take a break and do it again, or change a task. But this is the principle. Don't do one at a time, do a batch. Now, if you have to be in track with your clients or social media correspondences, I would say messages, a lot of people look engagement, right? And part of the engagement is to keep in track of what the customers are saying, what are the people communicating with you, and you wanted to make sure you have a good communication skills in order to respond to those people, especially in a field that probably is not even yours. Maybe you work in a health industry, maybe you work in food industry, maybe working in a fitness industry, and you need to make sure you're going to address every single questions that every single customer bring for you. You're the one behind the screen and you are the one in charge to give you the best answers. So it's important for you to keep on the loop. If you do not install a chat bot directly on the website, or something that actually pull it out the messages and goes to one source, which makes super easy, I think that you can lose track, and a lot of the times we miss a communication with a prospect or with a client or with someone. One of the reasons why I like the chat bot, the messenger chat bot, I put it on my website because everybody that comes to the website can message me there and I will receive the message on Facebook Messenger. Now, lots of people don't do that and it lose track, forgets to respond on Facebook, which actually it makes it bad because you need to have a responsive rate, and the responsiveness rate of your messages is important. So I truly believe installing a chatbot on your website, and probably sometimes even on your blog, you can do that too because you have plugins, and automatically you're not gonna miss anybody and you're going to be able to address all the messages that come to you in one single shot. You don't have to go here and there, here and there and there. A lot of people at times don't have a choice. They don't have a choice at all. They have to go in different resources to pick up the messages, and I totally understand. But I believe the chatbot makes a huge difference when you are trying to communicate with your potential clients, with people requesting information, people asking questions. I had a client that did exactly the same thing. She was having trouble with communications with the potential clients after putting ads. And people were coming asking million questions, sometimes even same questions. So what you can do as well is create frequent asked questions with that information. When you do frequent asked questions, what happens is you don't have to repeat yourself over and over and over. And everybody gets happy in the end of the day because all these questions is already being posted on your website or posted on your content that you probably have created, and people get informed quickly and fast. So that also cuts your time from responding repetitive questions and answers that you already have done in the past probably a million times. So be very functional, be very productive by adding a chatbot on your WordPress, on your blog, on your website, so all the messages get synchronized on your Facebook Messenger. As I said before, every social media manager should use a scheduling tool. A scheduling tool today is crucial because you don't want to go manually doing things. And I want to add something here. Facebook platform, you can do as well for free. You go publishing tools, you can schedule your content there. And the problem is I recommended not relying 100% on publishing tools section on Facebook. In the past few months, it's been failing, it's been not publishing, it's having some tool errors. So you don't want to go through this, and you don't want to go back and kind of pushing your work back and going stressful. So don't stress out about that. Definitely rely in another extra social media tool management scheduling tool that you might have. Maybe you have Tailwind, which I recommend for Instagram. I love the later.com, and it all has so many tools nowadays that make your life much easier. And probably I should not even repeat these myself because I have videos here talking about tools, management, and tips. You can check on the playlist info card that I'm going to put here up here, and you're going to see they have so many options for you to manage your work really well. And one thing that I want to add in the scheduling tool is that you can create reports, you can create a tracking of all the things you're doing based on the insights that these tools provide. Tailwind provides engagement, rates, percentage, all the things you need to know in order to keep an eye on and what are you doing. The same way Agora Pulse can do the same way as well. I recently have tried a tool called Rival IQ, which is an amazing tool, but it's a little costly. So if you're not ready for that yet, I would push aside and then you think that in the future. But Rival IQ, what I like about it is it checks your competitors and see what they're doing better, or maybe you were doing better than them. Believe me, I was surprised when I find out that I was doing better than a few companies competitive than me. But it is an opportunity for you to keep an eye on the ball and stand out of the crowd. So these tools actually give you some feedback and talks to you about what are you doing for your brand, your service, your work. So keep an eye on those tools and making sure those tools actually is been going through some updates recently, because Instagram now, I don't think with the hashtag they can free generate a hashtag anymore. So a lot of the tools have lost the auto-generating hashtags unless you're a paid member. So if you go through a premium package or something like that, or a paid member package, you can get some hashtag generating. But I also recommend you doing the work yourself about hashtags. Take a day to do some research, creating some lists and top hashtags. Go over every single post on your Instagram, for instance, and checking sites and see how much have reached with hashtags, so that you can keep track of how well you're doing your work. So content scheduling tools is definitely very handful and very helpful as part of your management work. So please do not forget to have those as gracefully in your hands and in front of your screen, because it will help you a lot. I think that is very important to have relevant content in such an industry, right? For instance, here in the YouTube channel, we talk about social media marketing, tools, we talk about tutorials, we talk about how to use the platforms, tips, and so many information that can help people do great social media for a good reason. But it's staying relevant. I'm not saying black and white thing. It's just don't walk away from something that is not relevant to your industry. If you talk about food, you stay in the food, you stay on the health tips, you stay in the nutrition aspect. Don't walk away from it, right? If you are in the fitness industry, stay also in the health, nutrition, exercises, because that's your industry. Don't walk away from that direction, because if you go left or if you go right, you might be mess things up, and you don't want to do that. Now, one thing that I recommend everyone to do is, instead of creating new posts, is recycling old posts. Especially in the beginning, when you're starting out, you do a lot of things that don't go quite well. And then you need to go back, because with your experience, maybe you're getting better in what you're doing. Then you can revisit old blog posts, old content, and refresh them based on the things you already today have been learning. So don't throw away your skills. Actually, take those skills you're learning today, go back in what you have created in the past, and refresh everything up. But here's the catch. A lot of things you cannot refresh. For instance, videos on YouTube, you cannot go back and redo it everything and just re-upload it. I don't think that's gonna work. If you have done such a thing like that, comment here in the box below in the comment section and let me know. But I have never actually seen somebody redoing videos and reposting, because I don't believe this works, because you lose all the data that was collected from those contents, and then it's not going to generate anything in your favor, honestly. But when it comes to content that you've been creating in the past, posts, images, blogs, articles, anything that videos that you probably have mentioned in the past, you might use them in a different way, as adding something on it, creating new things that can bring you new information. So going through the recycle of your old materials and bringing something as a form of refreshment, that is going to be a good way to start out the year, or start out new content, or start out a new thing, instead of you creating something new over and over and over. So think about that and let me know in the comments below if you have actually used this technique of recycling content and doing something better, or refreshing your blogs, and what was the result. How about that? Now, it has a tool called Smart Automation, which is very interesting. Zapier is one of these tools which make an automation smart responses. It's kind of like a bot system that you literally, if you see a Twitter comment or something that just got posted, and automatically Zapier, what we're gonna do, it's comment on it or send an email on it. It's doing the work for you, literally. It's something that you can consider. It depends on the business you have. I think that is very, very good to have it. I think it will save some of your time as well. Depends if you have so much responses to give and emails to respond as well. Then yeah, you cut your time in a little bit more, and then you have more time for other things. So considering, check it out, Zapier, which is the IFTTT, which stands for if this, then that. And then you can go ahead and figure it out if that tool can actually help you in cutting your time in half, responding things properly, sending to comments and responses on your social media channels. I have never tried Zapier before. I think for me, it's not so quite a must or needed in my load that I do my work. But I believe in the future, when things get super chaotic or crazy, yes, I truly believe that I might be able to consider something like this. So check it out and let me know, or if you're already using it, comment in the box below and tell me if you're using Zapier or not. To never, ever, ever don't multitask. The multitasking, it's good as a form of a skill, but at times it can actually put you in a bad spot, because you don't want to miss something out during your multitasking, moment. You might gonna miss something out and you're gonna slip out of the sleeves, and you need to make sure everything's correct, everything's well written, everything is perfect, clean, sharp, relevant. So I would recommend doing one task at a time, making sure you stay on track with the one task at a time, because doing multitasking, what I have noticed is that a lot of people tend to forget things and tend to not absorb what they're doing in the moment. It also helps you stay in the moment, if you're going to work in this industry. I don't believe you have to multitask and crazy. I mean, it has a lot of multitasking things you can still do, but I don't believe like putting content or shooting a video or reading a script, or it has a lot of things you cannot do only in one shot. So making sure you delegate tasks at a time, submit things to people in the correct time, be organized, but do not multitask crazy, because that's not going to add anything on you and it's going to make things very messy. I think one of the things that don't multitasking recommendation is that part of your brain don't think right. Part of your brain is starting getting more overwhelmed and more stressed. I believe that you increase actually a mental stress when you're multitasking. Multitasking in between a phone, a text message, a call, and writing a blog. Imagine that moment that your mind is just doing a sort of things, tons of things, and in the end of the day, I betcha that your blog didn't get posted, you still have to edit, your doctor's appointment still have to be scheduled or rescheduled, and your text messages probably didn't get responded. So think that way when you are multitasking. In order to make sure everything correctly, or not correctly, I will not put the word correctly, but I would put a word organized and strategized and clean. Make sure you do one thing at a time, so you also don't get crazy in the end of the day, think that you did everything right, but you literally just mess everything up. Now, as I said before, you have to pay attention on your social media metrics. You have the called vanity metrics, which is the likes, the comments, the basic information that you see in the front page, right, of your social media post. But you have also the KPIs, you have the big metric that you need to take a look. Now, one tool that I really actually like is CoSchedule. It gives you actually the insights, gives you some of the metrics, the content information, the platforms you're using. So take a look on your data, on your metrics, and make sure you're doing the right things in the right time. Pull a report, save those informations, because I think down the road it teaches you a lesson. The metrics, what are you doing, it teaches you how to move to the next step. So please don't discard the idea of analyzing your metrics. Just like Monday.com, it's another tool you can use as well for tracking times. If you have somebody working with you, you can use Monday.com. But Monday.com is a pretty cool tool, and actually it delegates tasks, it keeps you in check. It's like a to-do list. But a lot of the people that I have noticed, they have their own planners, a manual thing. and because it keeps them more inspired and motivated to do it, which is also another idea. If you don't prefer doing the computer, you can also do manually on your planner, on your notebook, whatever you have to keep track of your notes. When it comes to creating content, doing the work, jobs, maybe you are working with somebody else, let's say, or you have some extra help from someone, and this is actually happens a lot in work environment. Everyone have tasks delegated, and at times people come to you and say, hey, I don't know how to do this, can you do this for me? You might want to say yes here and there, but you don't want to say yes for all the time, for everything, because you need to prioritize your work. You need to prioritize your tasks. So put yourself at first, always, and maybe when it's done, you can go ahead and help somebody else. But especially when you prioritize calls and contacting back, follow-ups, messages, emails, it's the same way. Saying no to someone and saying yes to someone is part of your task too. So learn how to say no is not actually just respecting someone. It's the opposite. It's just putting your work at first, prioritize your tasks, and make sure you do well and better. So don't feel bad about that at all. You shouldn't. Don't say yes for everything, because you don't have to. A tip that I want to offer you guys is that you can go to Fiverr.com or Upwork.com. They're freelance website that actually helps you get clients, businesses, manage people's pages, or businesses creating pages, anything you want to post as a business format. And I think it's a very well educating, because you have packages, basic, premium, and you have to be very creative when you set up those packages over there. So making sure you do that part of the work. If you're trying right now, getting started right now, trying to get clients and do. Most of the people sometimes get referrals by friends of friends of friends, and some others, they have to go online and find some resources. So I hope this tip actually helps you out to stay in track and helping doing work, getting more work done, and practicing your productivity every day. And please guys, do not forget to like this video if this has really helped you out to stay productive every day in your business. And please do not forget to like it, comment, share, subscribe for vibes, and I'll see you next time. Bye.